Good morning. I am going to do a small 8x8 canvas today. I already sort of painted the sides. I dipped the sides in last night's leftover paint that was on the table, which doesn't necessarily go with the colors we're doing today, but I like to recycle. So what I started with is Crimson Red by Winsor & Newton, just mixed with a little Floetrol. I have it on the canvas, and I'm going to spread it around right now, and then let it dry a little bit while I'm mixing up the other paints, which I'm just going to kind of go for and I'm putting this on the canvas fairly thin, as you can see. And I'm going to mix up, I think, either Payne's Gray and White or Mars Black and Titanium White. So, and this doesn't have any, this is just paint and Floetrol, no silicone, no water. And we'll see what happens with the black and white on top of this. It'll either look amazing or not. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I've got my paints mostly mixed up, and what I decided to do was, this is what I collected off the table. So I left painting drying on the table last night, and what quite often happens is the paint that's trapped under the painting was still as wet as if you just poured it right now. So I scraped all that into the cup. It's a little gloopy. And then I mixed it up. I got a nice warm gray, added Floetrol, and a little distilled water. And now I'm going to add 2 drops of silicone. I don't know if you can see this. 1, 2. And give it just a couple of stirs. And then the black, I didn't add the water yet. So I'm going to add just a couple of drops of distilled water. Give that a good stir. And then 2 drops of silicone to that. 1, 2. And just a couple of stirs. What I decided to do is something I haven't done for a while, and that is, I got a lot of dried paint. I'm going to just add little, this is just white straight out of the tube, just a few dollops here and there. And then I'm also going to add just a couple of dollops of Prussian Blue Hue from Winsor & Newton. And the way I'm going to do this is I'll take my red stick, and I'm just adding a really small amount around. I'm going to break this up. So it's really a small amount of white and Prussian blue. And sometimes this works, and sometimes it doesn't. We'll see. And then what I'm going to do is just drizzle on the black and the gray. Oh, let's see. What to do. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put them in this red cup and hope this is not a disaster. So they'll be kind of mixed up in here. And mixed up with the red. The gray is much thicker than the black, which maybe I didn't add any water to that. I'm not sure. Oh, that's all right. So on this canvas, there's varying thicknesses of paint. And I think what I'm going to do is do a flip and drag, or, well, here's what I think I'll do. I'm going to tilt this up and put it across the surface like this. Let it pick up all these different colors. So I'm just tilting it off. And it's pretty thick paint, so it's going slow. And I'm trying to break up the bigger globs under the paint. Okay. Got that almost to the end. Now I'm going to turn this towards me. And by the way, I have a painter's tape on the bottom and thumbtacks to keep it up out of the liquid paint. I'm going to take a piece of paper just off of the pad and fold it in half and just drag that through the paint with a little bit of pressure, but not too much. And then I come back against the sides like this with that color, just to incorporate it. And then, okay, let's torch it. Got some saddles. Get the sides. Sometimes when you drag the paper through twice, it actually affects the cells, so I might have kind of shot myself in the foot with that one, but that's all right. And now, that's a little boring. I think what I will do is I'm going to take some of this gray from this table pour off, and I'm going to, oh, there's a glob, I don't want that. And I'm just going to run it through. I didn't stir it at all. Let's see. I'm just going to tilt it across the canvas. keeping it fairly close so that the stream doesn't break. Let's see. It's kind of cool. Tilt that a little bit. So this is fairly dark. And moody. Sorry about my arms in your way. And there's a glob, so I'm going to get rid of that. Anyway, let's see. Kind of needs something else. What else could we do to this? Let's see. This is going to dry really dark. I'm thinking maybe we should take either the deep turquoise or the Russian blue hue. That's what I'm going to do. Actually, you know, I'm going to take, there's a lot of black left in here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to put a dollop of white. I'm going to mix up some white. Let's do that. I'm just going to add gloss medium to it, not Floetrol. I've never done that. We'll see what happens. I'm just trying to thin it a little bit. I'm stirring it with the other end of the black stick, so that's a little too thick. So I'm going to add Floetrol. Let's see. What I'll do, I'm going to add more Floetrol to this black, but I'm not going to add any more pigment. And I'm not even going to mix it up that well. Well, never mind, I will. Okay. So again, there was silicone in here. I stirred it a bit. I'm going to add 2 more drops. Give it 1 stir. I'm going to add, let's see how the white is. It's a little thick. Let me add some water to the white, just a touch. Now this stick I was using is black now, so maybe that's spoon. Okay. I'm kind of wondering if I can add any of this red. I'm literally just scraping the red off the sides of the cup. Okay. I don't think I added silicone to the white, but we'll add 2 drops. And okay. I'm going to use the bottle I used yesterday, which is, oh, it's still dirty. I don't think I better do that. Actually, you know what? It's got kind of a mossy green down there. So we'll see how this turns out. So I'm adding the white, adding the black, there's silicone and there's a mossy green color. Left over from yesterday. This might be a disaster, but give a little shake. Let's see. What do I want to do? I think I'll just go in stripes again, like kind of going off the edges here. I'm just going to keep going back and forth. Till I run out of paint. Okay, let's torch that. I'm not really getting many cells, and there's a ton of paint on this canvas, so what I'm going to do is tilt like crazy. And just, so I've already tilted this way, and now I'm tilting this way, which is, so it's kind of taking these stripes and pulling them down. The sides are cool. So I've learned that the hard way that you don't want to end up with too much paint left on your canvas. The Floetrol does help it level out and dry nicely, but I'm almost thinking that I'm going to do a drag this way now. And I'm just going to use the same piece of paper, just the other side, and just do a single, and I kind of weight it down, drag that way. And then I didn't get this edge very well, so I'm going to there. Okay. And let's torch. So that's kind of cool. You got a little more red coming through. And what will happen if we tilt it more? So the cells are so tiny that they're not really changing shape too much. But I kind of like this effect. With the red shining through. I think this is going to have to end up being the background for something else, but Let me bring this up, show it to you. So it's kind of hard to, it just looks like gravel or pebbles, so kind of cool. Maybe I'll tilt this way, see what happens. I can't really hurt it at this point. It's not that spectacular, so let's see. And I've gotten rid of quite a lot of the paint, so. And let's tilt it back this way. I'm almost thinking like you could add some kind of decoupage to this, or I could. I will probably do that, and I'll let you know what I end up doing. I kind of like this glob here. I'm going to add that back. And then see all this black paint here? I'm going to scrape that into a cup and reuse it because that's a lot of paint. Tilt it back towards me. It's moving so very slowly. Well, I hope that you guys can learn from my trial and error. And we'll see what becomes of this. I'll probably add something to it. Anyway, there you go. My hands are totally messy. Let me dry them off. And thanks so much for watching. I hope you like, well, I don't care if you like this one. This was an experiment for sure. All right, thanks.